Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today today is Saturday, so I'm almost 2 weeks post-op. Monday will be 2 weeks post-op. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the first 48 hours. What I experienced, after the operation, how much help did I need doing stuff. Do you need somebody to kind of make sure that they're there with you? Like questions I had, before I actually had my surgery. And the answer is yes, you definitely need somebody that's, willing to help you do, just about everything, to be honest with you. So the first 48 hours after my surgery, you get, in my case, I got, the 6 or 7 incisions into my stomach, and microscopic, I think is what they call it. And you know, obviously, when your stomach's cut up and whatnot, you swell up, and they pump you full of a lot of fluids and whatnot, and so it was very hard to move around. The day I was in the hospital, I was obviously doped up on all the different pain medications and anesthesia and whatnot. So I was saying some funny stuff apparently, and you know, but the ride home wasn't horrible. It hurt obviously, but the pain meds, I was on some pretty good pain meds, so it helped with that substantially. But the first 48 hours in the motel room afterwards, so that was hard. So I had an IV bag hooked to me that was like a backpack, and you couldn't lift it. So every hour on the hour, I want to say, I woke up and I had to pee. So I had to wake my poor wife up every single hour on the hour, because one, she had to help me get out of bed because I couldn't bend at my stomach. So I'd have to grab her hand, and she'd have to pull me up and get me up on my feet, and get me up, sitting right in the bed, and then helping me get up onto my feet. And and then she'd have to walk with me, to the bathroom so that I could use the bathroom. And she was holding the backpack that had the intravenous, in it. It was on a pump that it was, constantly pumping it into me. And that was to keep you hydrated, obviously. The other thing that we were doing is we were walking in the hotel room back and forth. We would do, like, I think we did 2 laps or 3 laps or something like that, back and forth. And that's to help prevent blood clotting and things like that. The doctor told us we had to make sure we did that. So my poor wife was a trooper, man. I love her to death. I couldn't have done it without her. She was awesome. You know, she did so much for me that she still does so much for me. But she's an awesome person. I'm blessed to have her in my life. But man, I'm telling you, every hour on the hour, and never once complained about it. Never once gave me shit about it. Nothing. She just stood by my side, man. She's a good woman, and I'm blessed to have her. And I'm not the easiest to deal with sometimes, if you could imagine that. I'm all teary-eyed and stuff. That shows you how much I love my wife, and appreciate her. But we she had to do everything. She had to get my medicine, because I was in a lot of pain, obviously. Pain meds, were working, but anytime I'd move around, it would hurt. And but she kept me going. She kept me walking around back and forth. Now, we traveled to North Carolina for the surgery, and I drove the whole way to North Carolina. And then I wasn't allowed to drive because of the pain meds on the way home. So she drove the entire way home, and the entire way home, every hour we had to stop, and her and I had to walk. I forget exactly what the amount of steps they told us was, but we essentially had to walk up and down, a pathway wherever we found one. Again, to keep from the blood clotting. But the second day is when they allowed me to take a shower. We were still in the hotel at this point, and I turned around and I washed myself the best I could. But you can't bend down to wash any of your lower half, and my wife helped me out with that, obviously. But the first 48 hours is probably the worst of it. Every day after that, I kind of got better and better, and it felt better and better. And at day 7, 1 week exactly to the day, I was having a lot of pain was. So I had at least 2 surgeons in the room with me. There may have been more, but there was at least 2. And one of the surgeons, the main doctor, his name was Dr. Bruce, that I had my surgery done. He sewed my stitches and whatnot up on one side, and it came out really good, and there was no like pulling or tugging, and it really didn't hurt. There was another gentleman that sewed the other side. Well, I guess because I had some bleeding or something going on that side, he had to pull it really tight, and I had a big flat spot on one side of my stomach, and it was like a big indentation inside my stomach where he had to pull everything really tight, and that's where it hurt because everything was pulling on them stitches constantly. Well, the main surgeon, the Dr. Bruce, had told me, he's like, that'll eventually go away on its own, and he said the swelling and whatnot that I had would go down, and it did. And on day 7, all of a sudden it just kind of went away. So I'm imagining maybe it was dissolvable stitches, and after the 7 days the stitches dissolved and everything opened back up. But as soon as the shape of my stomach went back to normal, I didn't have any pain at all, and that was pretty much the last day that I took any of the like heavy pain narcotic type medicine. I'm not a big fan of that. My wife said I was extremely nice to her when I was taking that, but I don't like the way that stuff makes me feel. I don't do drugs. I hardly drink alcohol. It just made me feel like I was outside of my body, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like, having that. And this is the last week I'm on a liquid only diet. So that's been hard, to be honest with you guys. But it's only part of the day. Like it's really only when I start seeing everybody else eating around me that it's hard. Last night, I'll give you a good for instance. So they don't want me to eat anything with any kind of chunks in it yet. Not until Sunday or Monday. Monday technically. But I ordered a chicken noodle soup from the restaurant that my wife and son were having their supper at, and my daughter. But there was a lot of like little particles in it and whatnot, so I was like, man, I'm not gonna even waste my time, because I said I don't want to take a chance of messing this thing up. So my wife ended up pureeing it up and made it into a full liquid, and I was able to drink it. I only had a little bit of it, and then I was full, but that helped out substantially. So but that's the hardest part of the whole thing is you really want to start to eat something. So next week for 7 days I can eat the pureed food, like the baby food, and then after that I can start on the soft foods, and I think I got to do like soft foods, where I got to cut my food up small and chew it real good. And as long as 7 days after the soft foods, as long as I'm not having any stomach issues and whatnot, they say I got to eat every 3 hours, I guess, 5 to 6 times a day or something. But they're going to be small meals. They're going to be like, 2 ounces or 4 ounces of food or something. They say that I can, start eating regular food again, and just got to maintain it as small pieces and whatnot. So, but anyhow, guys, that's kind of how the first 48 hours was, and you definitely need a good support system. My lovely wife right there, like I say, she was a godsend for me. So anyhow, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Hit that like and subscribe. God bless you all. God bless the USA, and y'all take care. Later.